She died on her living room floor, not in a hospital bed, not surrounded by loved ones, but alone, bleeding, betrayed, and broken by the two people she trusted most. Her husband stood frozen. Her best friend stood over her. And just like that, her life ended. Or so everyone thought. Because when she opened her eyes again, the world wasn't dark. It was familiar. Too familiar. Her phone buzzed beside her. A message lit the screen. "Did you get home safe? I can't stop thinking about you." It was from him. Her husband. Only, he wasn't her husband yet. Her heart raced. Same room. Same mirror. Same face, but younger. Healthier. Untouched by sickness. Then it hit her. She wasn't dead. She had been sent back. Back to the beginning. Before the marriage. Before the cancer. Before the betrayal. Before her best friend stole her life. And this time, she remembered everything. Every insult from her mother-in-law. Every hospital visit done in silence. Every smile her best friend faked. Every look that lingered too long on her husband. This time, she knew the ending. And this time, she wasn't going to die quietly. But before we reveal how she rewrites her destiny, drop a comment with your location and local time. And don't forget to subscribe so you never miss a story of second chances and ultimate justice. Maya Chin had always believed in the quiet power of kindness. At 26, she was a senior analyst at Nova Financial Group, the woman who remembered everyone's coffee order and stayed late to help colleagues. She wasn't the loudest voice in meetings, but she was the one people trusted when the numbers had to be perfect. That's how she met Daniel Park. He was the new VP of Operations, tall and confident with a smile that made you feel special. Their first real conversation happened during a late-night audit crisis. While others panicked, Maya quietly found the error and saved the quarter. "You just saved my career," Daniel had said, his dark eyes holding hers too long. "I can tell you don't lie. Neither do the numbers." The romance felt like a fairy tale. Coffee became lunch, became dinner under city lights. He texted good morning before she woke and good night after she fell asleep. He remembered she hated mushrooms and loved old bookstores. Her best friend Sophia had been there through all of it, squealing at every milestone. Sophia was everything Maya wasn't. Bold, glamorous, commanding attention without trying. They'd been friends since college, an unlikely pair that somehow worked. "He's disgustingly perfect for you," Sophia had gushed over wine. "I'm so jealous I could scream, but so happy I could cry. You'll find someone amazing too, just like Daniel." Something had flickered across Sophia's face then, too fast to read. 6 months later, Daniel proposed at the same Italian restaurant where they'd had their first date. Maya said yes through tears, feeling like the luckiest woman alive. The wedding happened fast, maybe too fast. His mother Patricia had specific ideas about everything. Maya found herself nodding to decisions she didn't agree with, telling herself it didn't matter. But there were sharp moments when Patricia's warmth slipped. At dress shopping, Maya found a simple lace gown she loved. Patricia's smile froze. "Very simple. I thought Daniel deserved something more special. But if this is what you want." Sophia jumped in. Maya looked stunning. Classic beauty. Patricia laughed with an edge. "I'm sure you know best about fashion choices." Maya changed dresses. She married Daniel wearing something that made her feel like an expensive doll, pushing away the voice that whispered, "This is happening too fast." The first year of marriage felt like living in a beautiful house where all the doors were slowly locking. Daniel was still loving when his mother wasn't around. But Patricia insisted they live in the family estate, temporarily, while she helped them get settled. That temporary arrangement became permanent. The estate was 20 rooms of marble that echoed with Patricia's crisp judgment. Maya tried. She learned Patricia's favorite tea, rearranged her schedule for family dinners, bit her tongue when criticized for how she folded shirts, organized the kitchen, spoke too softly. "I'm not getting younger," Patricia said over dinner, cutting her steak with precision. "Neither are you, dear. Women's fertility drops after 30. You're aware." Daniel squeezed Maya's hand under the table. Supposed support that felt like a plea for peace. The stress manifested as poison. First exhaustion that didn't go away. Then headaches that blurred her vision. Then nausea that sent her rushing to bathrooms. She told herself it was stress, 60-hour weeks plus navigating a minefield household. But then came pain in her abdomen, dull at first, easy to ignore. It grew sharper until one morning she woke and couldn't stand without gasping. Daniel had left early. Patricia was at bridge club. Maya drove herself to the hospital. Dr. Sarah Mitchell sat across from her in a sterile room and spoke words that shattered everything. Stage 3 stomach cancer. Aggressive. We need to start treatment immediately. Maya stared at the white masses blooming like poisonous flowers inside her body, feeling detached. How long? With aggressive treatment, 60% 5-year survival. Without treatment, months. Maybe a year. Maya walked into bright sunshine that felt obscene. She should tell Daniel. But when she got home to Patricia's criticisms and Daniel's distracted exhaustion, barely looking up from his phone at dinner, the weight of being in this house pressed down like a physical thing. She couldn't bear to become more of a burden, more of a disappointment. So she told no one. Except Sophia. Sophia found Maya on her bathroom floor one Saturday, too weak from chemotherapy to get to bed. Jesus Christ, what's happening? Maya told her everything. The diagnosis, the secret treatments 3 towns over, the elaborate lies. Sophia held her while she cried. Why won't you tell him? He loves you. Does he? Because the man I married wouldn't let me suffer alone. He would have noticed I was dying. Sophia went quiet, eyes distant, calculating. I'll help you. Whatever you need. You're my best friend. And she helped. For 6 months, Sophia was Maya's lifeline. But what Maya didn't notice was how Sophia started appearing at family dinners uninvited, texting Daniel about Maya's stress levels, positioning herself as the strong alternative. What Maya didn't see was how Sophia looked at Daniel when Maya left the room, how her hand lingered on his arm. What Maya didn't understand until too late. Some people don't want to save you. They want to replace you. The shift was subtle. Sophia began dressing differently for visits. Polished, professional, elegant. The kind of outfits Patricia approved of. You look nice, Maya commented. Had a client lunch. Haven't had time to change. But there were no client meetings on Saturdays. Sophia had stopped by 3 times that week when Daniel was home and Maya was resting upstairs. Sophia's really worried about you, Daniel said one night, barely looking at Maya. She thinks maybe you should see a therapist. She says you've been different. Distant. Sophia said that, as if Sophia was part of the marriage, part of the decision-making, part of we. The turning point came on Maya's 31st birthday. She'd asked for something simple, dinner at home, just her and Daniel. But she came downstairs to find the house full of people. Patricia's friends, Daniel's colleagues, and Sophia, center stage in an expensive dress. Surprise. I planned it all, Sophia whispered, hugging her too tightly. Daniel agreed you needed this. Across the room, Daniel's hand rested casually on Sophia's back as he guided her to the bar. Patricia smiled at them in a way she'd never smiled at Maya. The party lasted 4 hours. Maya managed 2 before claiming a migraine. Upstairs, she heard laughter, Sophia's voice bright and clear, Daniel's responding laugh. Relaxed, happy in a way he hadn't sounded with Maya in months. She sat on their bed feeling like a ghost haunting her own life. Later, Daniel came up smelling like wine and Sophia's perfume. That was nice. Sophia really pulled it together. She's amazing. I didn't want a party. What? I asked for quiet dinner. Just us. I was trying to do something nice. But you disappeared like always. Like you're too good for my family, my friends, my life. Too sick for your life. That's what you mean. The silence was poison. Daniel grabbed his pillow, muttering about needing space, sleeping in the guest room. The final confrontation happened 3 weeks later. Maya came home early from treatment, violently ill. She heard voices from Daniel's study. His and Sophia's. Laughing. Intimate. You can't keep enabling this, Sophia said. I love Maya, but she's not the woman you married. She's depressed, withdrawn. You deserve a partner who shows up. Someone who can match your energy. Someone like you. Daniel asked, curious, almost hopeful. A long pause. I would never overstep. But honestly, yes. Someone who sees how incredible you are. Someone who would never take you for granted. Maya pushed open the door. They sprang apart. Sophia on Daniel's desk. Daniel standing too close, his hand dropping from her knee. Maya. Sophia gasped, face arranging into perfect concern. You look terrible. What are you doing home? I live here. What are you doing here? Daniel was upset, and get out. Maya, let's calm down, Daniel started. Nothing happened. We were talking. Sophia was being a good friend. A good friend? Maya laughed, brittle. A good friend doesn't sit on my husband's desk with her hand on his thigh. Then the room tilted. The pain in her abdomen spiked into something unbearable. She felt herself falling, knees hitting hardwood, warm wetness spreading as her body catastrophically gave up. Maya. Daniel's voice, distant. Call 911. Sophia's voice, theatrical. But Maya was already going under, darkness pulling her down. Her last thought was Sophia's face hovering above her, not worried. Satisfied. The afterlife wasn't what Maya expected. No tunnel of light. No loved ones waiting. Just vast darkness like suspension between breaths. Then, sensation. Weight of blankets. Softness of a mattress. Traffic outside. Vanilla candle she recognized but couldn't place. Maya's eyes snapped open. She stared at a ceiling she knew intimately. The water stain shaped like a butterfly, cheap paint yellowing. Her old apartment. The one before Daniel. The one she'd given up 3 years ago. She sat up. Her body moved with ease that felt wrong after months of pain. No nausea. No stabbing agony. She looked at her hands. No fur bruises. No damaged nails. No wedding ring. Her phone buzzed. iPhone 11, not her newer model. The date made the room spin. March 15th, 2021. For years ago. For years before diagnosis. 3 years before the wedding. Before everything. A message from Daniel Park. Did you get home safe? I can't stop thinking about our conversation tonight. You're unlike anyone I've ever met. Maybe dinner this weekend? Let me know. Maya stared until words blurred. She remembered this text. Remembered reading it in this exact bed, heart hammering, feeling like she'd found something real. She remembered typing. I'd love that. But she didn't remember what came after. Or rather, she remembered all of it. The memories flooded back like a breaking dam. The wedding, diagnosis, secret treatments, Sophia's betrayal, Daniel's distance, the study, blood on the floor. Death. She remembered dying. Now she was here. Alive. Young. Healthy. Given a second chance. She opened her text thread with Sophia, yesterday's exchange about brunch, a joke about their boss. No cancer. No secrets. Not yet. She stood and walked to the mirror. The woman looking back was a stranger in a familiar face. No dark circles. No hollow cheeks. Her hair was thick. Her body strong. She looked alive. Daniel texted again. Sorry, was that too much? Don't want to pressure you. Just, you're on my mind. Her finger hovered over the keyboard. In her first life, she'd responded immediately, eager. She'd rushed into loving him without hesitation, without seeing the warning signs. But this wasn't her first life. This was her second chance. She knew exactly who everyone really was. She knew Daniel was charming but weak, that he'd choose his mother over his wife, that he'd let her suffer rather than face truth. She knew Sophia's friendship came with conditions, that beneath support was a woman who wanted everything Maya had. She knew Patricia would never accept her, and she knew if she went down this path again, it would kill her. Maya deleted the unsent message. She didn't respond at all. Instead, she opened a new note and started typing names, dates, events, everything about how it unfolded. Office dynamics, family dinners, Moments when Sophia inserted herself. Symptoms ignored. The hospital. The doctor. She typed until her thumbs ached, documenting a future that hadn't happened, but would if she wasn't careful. When done, she locked her phone and looked at city lights. "Okay," she whispered. "Let's try this again. But this time, I'm writing my own ending." And somewhere in a timeline that no longer existed, Sophia sat on Daniel's desk as Maya bled out. But in this timeline, Maya stood in her apartment, very much alive, already 5 steps ahead. The game had changed. And this time, Maya knew all the moves. Maya spent 72 hours in controlled silence, watching, learning, remembering. She showed up at Nova Financial like nothing changed. Daniel noticed first. Break room, second day back. "Hey, I texted you over the weekend." "I did," Maya replied, stirring coffee. "And didn't respond?" Confusion, maybe hurt. "I've been thinking about what you said, about how I'm unlike anyone you've met. And I realized you don't know me well yet. So maybe we should slow down." "Slow down? We've only been on one date." "Exactly. So there's no rush." She smiled, but it didn't reach her eyes. "Let's just see what happens naturally." She could see him recalibrating. In her first life, she'd given attention freely. This Maya was different. "Okay. Natural. I can do natural." "Great. I've got to get back." She walked past him, leaving him puzzled. Guilt would have hit her in her first life. Now it felt like power. Sophia noticed too. "Thursday lunch. You seem different. More confident. Did something happen?" "I've been thinking. About what I want. What I deserve. What I'm willing to accept. Who are you and what have you done with my anxious best friend?" Sophia laughed, but her gaze assessed. "Maybe she grew up. That guy from your office you mentioned?" "I'll pass." "Wait. I thought you were interested in Daniel Park." "Did I say that? You've been talking about him for 3 weeks." "Have I?" "I've been reconsidering." Sophia's eyebrows rose. "Reconsidering the hottest VP who's into you? Why?" "Whether I'm ready. Whether I want to date someone from work. Whether he's as perfect as he seems, or if I'm projecting." Maya met Sophia's eyes. Sometimes people aren't who they pretend to be. Something flickered across Sophia's face. "True. But sometimes you overthink and miss out." "Maybe. Or maybe I trust my instincts this time." The health screening happened Wednesday, second week. Maya marked the date, the annual company wellness fair. In her first life, she'd skipped it. This time, first in line. "Any concerns?" the nurse asked. "Yes. Abdominal pain. Digestive issues. Probably nothing, but I'd rather be safe." "How long?" "Few weeks. Maybe a month." A lie. She felt fine, but she knew what was coming. The cancer was already there, microscopic. Undetectable, but devastating if left alone. "See your doctor immediately. Persistent pain should be checked." "I will. Thank you." 3 days later, Maya sat in Dr. Mitchell's office, the same oncologist. Except this time, stage 1. Treatable. Beatable. "You're incredibly lucky you came in when you did," Dr. Mitchell said, relief instead of pity. "A few more months, and this would be very different. I've learned to trust my instincts." Treatment was aggressive but manageable. Surgery. Targeted chemo. Monitoring. Maya scheduled everything around work. But this time, she told people. Not everyone. Just her boss. Her care team. A support network without emotional blackmail. And eventually, Daniel. 6 weeks into treatment, after he'd asked her out 4 times and she'd deflected each one. He cornered her in the parking garage, frustrated. "Whatever I did to offend you, I'm sorry. Can you tell me so I don't do it again? You didn't offend me. I've had other priorities." "For 2 months straight?" "Yes." She took a breath. "I have cancer, Daniel. Stage 1 stomach cancer. I've been getting treatment." His face cycled through shock, concern, guilt. "Oh my God. Why didn't you?" "Because I needed to handle it myself. Before letting anyone in. I learned that the hard way." He looked confused but didn't push. "Are you okay? Can I do anything?" "I'm handling it. But thank you. Can I take you to dinner? As a friend? I'd like to be there." Maya studied him in dim light. Same handsome face. Same earnest expression. But now she saw past it to someone who meant well but would crumble under pressure. As a friend. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. But Daniel. She met his eyes. I'm not the same person I was 2 months ago. I'm not shrinking myself to fit your life. I'm not being quiet or accommodating. I'm fighting for my life, and that's changed me. So if you want someone simple, I'm not her. He was quiet. Then, good. I don't want simple. I want real. We'll see. She got in her car, leaving him wondering when he'd lost control. Sophia was furious. Showed up unannounced. You have cancer and didn't tell me? I'm your best friend. I told you now. Weeks later, I heard from Daniel at some function. Do you know how that made me look? There it was. Not Maya's health. How Sophia looked. I'm sorry you felt embarrassed. But this is my medical information. I decide who knows when. I would have been there for you. Would you? Or would you have used it to get closer to people I care about? To position yourself as the strong one while I was weak? Sophia went pale. How can you? I've known you 6 years, Sophia. I know how you operate. You love me, but you can't help comparing. Competing. Resenting me when I have things you want. That's not fair. Think about what you just said. You're mad I didn't tell you about my cancer because it made you look bad. Not because I'm sick. Because of how it reflected on you. Volcanic silence. I came to support you. No. You came to be angry. And that's okay. But I'm not apologizing for protecting myself. Sophia left without a word, heels clicking sharply. Maya closed the door and leaned against it, heart racing but conscience clear. She'd just burned a bridge, and it felt like freedom. The final confrontation happened 9 months later at Nova Financial's annual gala, the same event where, in another timeline, Daniel would have proposed in front of 300 people while Sophia watched from sidelines, planning her takeover. But this wasn't that timeline. Maya arrived alone in midnight blue that hugged her healthy, cancer-free body like armor. Her treatment had been completely successful. Clean scans. A second chance at everything. Daniel was there with Patricia, who Maya had met once, at a function where Maya deflected passive-aggressive comments with professional grace, then disappeared. Sophia was there on a senior partner's arm, wearing a dress so similar to Maya's, it was clearly intentional. Maya. Daniel spotted her, making his way over with that eager smile. You look incredible. I didn't know you were coming. Last-minute decision. Listen, I've been meaning to talk. About us. I know we've been taking things slow, but I've been thinking. Daniel, I need to tell you something. I've been offered a position at Morgan Stanley. Senior Director. It's an incredible opportunity. His face fell. You're leaving Nova? Leaving the city. The position is in London. I start in 6 weeks. London. But what about, we've been getting close. I thought maybe, I care about you. But I'm not in love with you. And I don't think I ever will be. Not the way you deserve. Not the way I deserve. Is this about the cancer? Because I know I didn't handle that well. But, it's not about cancer. It's about me choosing myself. For the first time in my life. Before he could respond, Sophia materialized, her date forgotten. Maya, Morgan Stanley, London. How exciting. Her enthusiasm was perfectly performed. Almost real. Thank you. I'm looking forward to the change. You know, Sophia continued, arm snaking through Daniel's. This might be perfect timing. Daniel and I have been getting closer, working on the Vanderbilt account, spending late nights at the office. She looked up at him with doe eyes. Haven't we? Daniel looked uncomfortable. Sophia, don't be modest. Maya understands. She's moving on. It's only natural we all should, right? Maya watched with detached fascination. In another life, this would have destroyed her. But this wasn't another life. You're absolutely right. Everyone should move on. In fact, Daniel, you should know something about Sophia before you get too invested. Sophia's smile froze. Maya, she's been positioning herself as your next relationship since the day we met. Every coffee she bought you, every late night, every time she showed up with concern about me, it was strategic. She wasn't being my friend. She was auditioning to be your girlfriend. That's not. Sophia flushed red. Daniel, you know I would never. I have screenshots. Texts to other friends about how perfect you'd be together. Journal entries about how unfair it was that I had you. Google searches about making a man fall out of love with his girlfriend. I'm not making this up. I'm telling the truth. Color drained from Sophia's face. Daniel looked between them, confusion warring with realization. Is this true? I never acted on anything. Having feelings isn't a crime. How could I what? Tell the truth? Protect someone from manipulation? Having feelings isn't a crime, Sophia. But pretending to be my best friend while fantasizing about stealing my life? That's something else. I wasn't trying to steal your life. Sophia's voice rose, drawing attention. You were pulling away. Always tired, always sick, always making excuses. Someone had to be there. I was dying, Maya said quietly. In another version of this story, I was dying, and instead of helping me, you were circling my husband like a vulture. So yes, you were trying to steal my life. The difference this time is I didn't give you the chance. The crowd went silent. Patricia stood nearby, expression unreadable. Colleagues, investors, all watching. Sophia's eyes filled with real tears, born of humiliation and rage. I loved you. You were my best friend. And you've turned into, I don't know what you are now. I'm someone who values herself. Someone who won't accept crumbs of loyalty. Someone who knows her worth. And honestly, someone who doesn't need either of you anymore. She set down her champagne. I hope you're happy together. I really do. You deserve each other in ways you won't understand until later. But I deserve better. And it took dying to figure that out. She turned to leave, but Daniel caught her arm. Wait. Please. I don't want Sophia. I never did. I want. It doesn't matter what you want. Because I don't want you. Not anymore. Maybe in another life, we could have been happy. But in this one, we're just two people who almost made a terrible mistake. She walked away from him, from Sophia, from the life that killed her in another timeline. Through the watching crowd, head high, heart light, feeling more alive than she had in 2 lifetimes. Outside, the night air was cool. Maya stood on the steps looking at stars between skyscrapers and pulled out her phone. New message from Morgan Stanley, confirming her start date. Below that, Dr. Mitchell, latest scans clear. You're officially in remission. Congratulations. You beat it. Maya smiled, a real smile that reached her eyes and warmed her soul. She'd beaten more than cancer. She'd beaten fate itself. As she stood there, alive and free and choosing herself for the first time in 2 lifetimes, she whispered, "Thank you for the second chance. I promise I won't waste it." 6 weeks later, Maya boarded a plane to London. She didn't look back. Maya's Kensington apartment overlooked a park where children played football on Sundays. She made senior director within 8 months, built a team she trusted, started dating a brilliant oncologist who knew about survival and didn't need her to be anything but herself. Her mother visited every few months, finally proud. Daniel had married Sophia in a small ceremony. Patricia was thrilled with her new daughter-in-law. Sophia had quit her job to be the perfect wife. Daniel seemed quieter, less confident. Maya sent crystal champagne flutes with a note, wishing you all the happiness you deserve. She meant it, because she didn't hate them. She didn't love them. She just didn't think about them much. She was too busy living, building a career, nurturing real relationships, traveling, creating a life that was entirely, authentically, unapologetically hers. Sometimes late at night, she wondered about the woman she'd been in that other timeline, the Maya who died on her floor, broken and betrayed. She wondered if that Maya could see her now, if she was proud. Because that death had taught this Maya the most important lesson. You can't save everyone. You can't make everyone love you the way you deserve. You can't fix people who don't want to be fixed. But you can save yourself. And sometimes, that's enough. Sometimes, that's everything.